is not like another turn. And for every encounter and inspiration and smile, there is a non-encounter, an inspiration that didn't happen, a blank stare, a distracted look, a link that wasn't, or a grimace. One of my aims here is to emphasize the crucial role of serendipity and luck, which means that it is a mistake to attribute spectacular success to the intrinsic qualities of those who succeed. Of course, it is true that those who succeed might well be extraordinary. The Beatles were extraordinary, and so is Taylor Swift. Of course, it is true that without their extraordinariness, they might not have gotten very far. But how did they become extraordinary? In what way did they get extraordinary? In any case, their extraordinariness was hardly sufficient to get them where they ended up. Countless extraordinary people in business, politics, science, and the arts never get very far. I also aim to open up the black box of serendipity and see what we might find there. To some extent, at least, serendipity can be engineered. Here is one way to think about it. Life is a series of lotteries. All of us have entered a large number of them without knowing it. You are in a bunch of lotteries at this very moment. What ticket will you draw? With respect to fame, some people draw winning tickets. A lot of that is simple luck. Still, it is possible to increase one's chances. The topic of fame is intriguing in itself, not least because of its overlap with the even larger topic of success. I will have something to say about both. It is tempting to focus on what's hot, or on some vehicle or trend of the last year, month, week, or day. The latest social media platform, some new technology, some new scandal, the sudden emergence of a new face, some exceptional talent, something bright and shiny, some talentless wonder. But humanity has not changed, not really, and the general principles and mechanisms that I will discuss here are as old as our species, and as new as the day after tomorrow. As we shall see, the topic of fame is also a window onto a host of the most fundamental issues, involving memory, business, culture, sports, politics, science, and, emphatically, religion. The rise of Christianity will make an appearance here, and so will Gnosticism, Genghis Khan, the Holocaust, Virginia Woolf, Albert Einstein, Barbie, Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, Stephen King, Oprah Winfrey, and Spider-Man. Bob Dylan refused to say why he had become popular. You don't try to figure out happenings. You dig happenings. So I'm not going to even talk about it. With respect, Mr. Dylan, you try to figure out happenings, so I'm going to talk about it. Infatuation. In the middle of the 18th century, Samuel Johnson, author of the first English-language dictionary and The Lives of the Poets, had a great deal to say about lightning, fame, and infatuation. He emphasized that people are busy and that it is hard to get their attention. For that reason, no man can be formidable but to a small part of his fellow creatures. Even worse, almost everyone is rapidly forgotten, even if they become famous during their lifetime. Speaking of writers in particular, Johnson said, "If we look back into past times, we find innumerable names of authors once high in reputation, read perhaps by the beautiful, quoted by the witty, and commented by the grave,